He walks into a classroom full of naughty and hopeless students with the aim of changing them, but he ends up being chased away by them. Ron Clark is a talented elementary school teacher from a small town in North Carolina, and his students do exceptionally well on standardized tests. His school hopes he will stay forever, but after reading all the news about troubled schools in New York, he feels that New York needs him the most. Hence, he packs his bags and heads to the metropolis. After arriving in New York, he first stays in a motel while looking for a job. It took quite a while, and he ran out of cash, so he got a part-time gig at a restaurant. Eventually, he arrives at Inner Harlem Elementary School, where a teacher had just quit because a student tried to assault him. Ron tells the principal that he could replace that teacher today. After the principal looked at his resume, he offered Ron a good class, probably out of fear that Ron would quit just like the previous teacher if given the naughty class. However, Ron happily insisted that he wants the naughty class because he knew that's where he could make the most impact. It was Friday, and the principal told him he can start on Monday. Over the weekend, Ron visits the families of all his students, hoping to get the parents' cooperation and support throughout the school year. He soon finds out that each family is challenged, overworked, or messed up in their own way. On Monday, he starts teaching the naughty class with his big ideals, and he quickly realizes that this class is unlike any he's ever faced before. In fact, it's challenging beyond his wildest imagination. He gives his utmost love and care to the class, but the class only gives back disrespect and even hostility. Occasionally, Ron has small successes in getting the class to behave well, but his method is rather forceful, so although the students comply temporarily, they are accumulating resentment inside, and they wreak havoc later. Eventually, Ron has an angry outburst and walks out of the classroom, ready to quit. He's been in New York for a while, but he never explored the town yet, so he asked a friend from the restaurant he works at to show him around. He shares his struggles and how he plans to give up on his ideals. His friend gives him a pep talk and encourages him to go back because those students desperately need him the most. Thanks to his friend's help, Ron rises from his abyss and is determined to turn this class around. Rather than forcing his students to behave properly, he decides to bargain with them. He brings dozens of small chocolate milk cartons to class, and if they behaved well and listen in class, he will drink a carton of chocolate milk. He gets his students to listen the entire lesson. The class is super excited at this offer, and they finally behave well for a long time. Whenever any student interrupts the class or does something bad, all the other students give that person a nasty look. Eventually, Ron asks a question, and a student answers correctly. Ron is extremely happy, and the student is surprised that she could actually learn. Ron's sincerity finally breaks through, and the students start warming up to him. He even goes to play with them during recess. In the past, the students would ignore him, but now, they let him play jump rope with them. Halfway through the year, the principal has a meeting with Ron. He is unimpressed at his class's test scores and says, the kids are at the bottom of the barrel and had no hope for them. Ron is upset and argues that the kids will pass the exams and get above grade level. The principal rolls his eyes and says it is impossible. Unbeknownst to Ron, his students were actually listening outside the principal's office, and they were shocked at their teacher's promise to the principal. Later, Ron gives a motivational talk to his students about how he had overcome his fears and achieved something he never thought was possible in the past, and that every day in class, the students are also working to achieve something big that they never thought was possible, being a stellar student and achieving a bright future. The school year continues, and none of the students pass the history test. Rather than blame the students, he reflects on his teaching methods. He realizes that he needs to do something more fun, engaging, and interesting to help the students learn, so he creates a rap to help his students learn America's past presidents, and he even performs for them. This rap is extremely well received by the students, and everyone's interest in history is sparked. Later, nearly all his students got A on the history test. Ron identifies some students that need extra help and take initiative to give them outside of class tutoring. One student is Shameika, who always has excuses for not handing in homework. Ron visits her home and asks to see her homework. She says she is too busy and didn't finish. Ron looks at it anyway and says this is actually pretty good, and she just needs to fix some small things. Shameika is surprised, but before she could continue working on her homework, her 3 brothers arrive home from their babysitter, and Shameika has to go cook dinner because her parents are out busy working. Ron offers to cook dinner so that she can fix her homework. Later, her mother arrives home to see Ron eating dinner with her kids, and she is extremely upset and chases him out. The next day, she goes to the principal's office and complains that her kid comes to school to learn, so she shouldn't be doing school work at home. Ron argues that students have homework and Shameika can't be babysitting all day. He says, Shameika had more potential than any kid in his class. Shameika's mother angrily retorts that the teacher be fired. As they leave, Shameika turns around and pleads to the principal not to fire Mr. Clark as he was just trying to help. Before they exit the school, Ron runs to catch up with them. Ron says that Shameika is a great student, a born leader, creative, intelligent, and if she tests well enough in May, she might be able to get her into Manhattan West for middle school, which is for gifted kids. The mother is astonished and promises to hire a babysitter. The worst happens when it's only 2 months until the big test, and Ron gets pneumonia. He is forced to stay at home for at least 2 weeks, so he forced to record video lectures for his students to watch in class. 1 week before the state exams, his students are worried and lack confidence. But Ron gives them a pep talk and emphasizes that they have been working hard every single day, that they've accomplished so much over the past year, and that he is extremely proud of them. He affirms them that they will crush the test and walk out of that room knowing they can do anything they want to do in their life. After the exams, the principal personally came to Ron's classroom and told them that they scored higher than any other class, even higher than the honors class. True to his words, Shameika performed extremely well as she emerges first in the area. Afterwards, his students went on to attend some of the finest middle schools and high schools in New York. Finally, he is proven the best mentor to the kids and their hero.